Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today I want to talk about this watch here. This is one of the versions that you can get of the SGW-100 Casio watch. And as you can see, 20 bar water resistance. So, approaching G-Shock type, specifications there. Now, it's not a G-Shock, and it's a little bit more affordable than you might, like here's a G-Shock with a triple sensor, and here's another G-Shock with a triple sensor. Here are some ProTrek watches with triple sensors, and these are not too affordable, not too cheap. I mean, they're affordable compared to like a lot of other, more expensive brands out there. And with the triple sensor on these watches, what it means is it's got a thermometer, a barometer, and a compass. And the barometer also allows, barometric pressure altimeter readings off there. But if you want to save a little bit of money and still get a double sensor, here's an affordable option for you. This has a compass and a thermometer. Those are the two main features here. This particular version of it has the negative display. The LCD has light characters against a dark background, as opposed to, a positive display would be a light background with dark characters. There are three other versions of this watch that I'm aware of that have the positive display, but this particular one has the negative display, and that's what it's going to look like. The other three versions of this watch you'll find out there have, different colors, and they're widely available. You can get them from the Casio website. And the suggested retail price is about $70 on each of these, but you can find lower prices as you shop around. I'd suggest go to Amazon or maybe, the Walmart website, or just look around a little bit. You'll find these somewhere in the $40 to $50 range if you look around. So not bad compared to the suggested retail. This particular one, this was a gift actually. So I don't know how much it costs. I'm just going to ignore, I'm telling you, if you want to buy one, go ahead and look for those prices out there. But as for me, I'm not going to care how much this cost because it was a gift. As you can see, it's a very busy face, but most of that has to do with the compass headings all around the dial that you can see there. And that'll help you when you're out in the field trying to use that compass feature. And I'll show you that in just a moment. This is your main timekeeping display. So there you have the date, that month and date format right there, your month first, and the day of the week. Here's your, your regular time and seconds, hours, minutes, and seconds right there, and a little indicator that it is currently showing daylight saving time. This does not automatically adjust for daylight saving time, but it gives you the option of, with a simple adjustment in the setup, you can have it display daylight saving time or not without having to do a whole lot of other things there. This little icon that looks like a bell means that the hourly chime has been activated. So other than that, that's what you're going to see on the main timekeeping screen. Now, if I wanted to go into the setup right now, there's this button marked adjust right there. So I can press and hold that until things start to blink. And the first thing it's going to do is want your time zone. So in my case, the Denver time zone, or the mountain time zone of the United States. Other time zones are named after a major city in that time zone. So for example, Mexico City, Chicago. If I push this button down here on the lower right, it's as though I'm going eastward on the map to choose another time zone. I can press the light button up here and go the other direction on the map, but I'm going to leave it on Denver. And once it's there, you see, then it kind of adjusts other time zone settings. Well, primarily the world time setting. So make sure you get the right time zone. Then press again, daylight saving time on or off, and then 12-hour or 24-hour display. I'm pressing the mode button to forge ahead on all of these. So here I can reset the seconds to 0 if I needed to, or adjust the hours, minutes, the year, the month, date. Those are all the adjustments. And then if I want the temperature to be displayed in Fahrenheit or Celsius, that's where I make that adjustment right there. And I'm back to the beginning. So now it's all set up. This is on the right time right now. Everything's set to go. So now if I go here to my world time zone, once again, I can push this button to go as though I'm going eastward on the map to choose some other time zone somewhere else in the world. I can't go the other direction with this, so I just kind of have to keep going forward to choose the time zone that I want, always going eastward on the map. I kind of like to leave it in UTC, but if this doesn't actually allow you to select UTC as a time zone, then I usually go with Lisbon or London and just leave daylight saving time off on there. But if I did want to show daylight saving time in one of these world time zones, then I can press and hold the adjust button until it shows 1 hour ahead or 1 hour back to go to standard time. So that's how you can make sure your world time zone that you've selected is correctly set, if they have daylight saving time or summertime in that time zone. Now my next mode is going to be the stopwatch mode, and this is pretty standard if you're used to stopwatches on digital watches. It's going to show you minutes, seconds, and hundredths of a second. You can start and stop that with the button down here on the lower right. Now, if I wanted to, let's see, it's not the light button, it's this adjust button that gives me my split time. Okay, and then if I stop it and press the adjust button again, that's when I reset everything to 0. So, pretty good. It's a 1 hour stopwatch. So if it goes to a full 1 hour, it's going to reset to 0 and keep on going and until you stop it. Then my countdown timer. Now, with this one, I can set hours and minutes. So right there, I can do that. And if I set it to, hang on, I did it wrong. Okay, set that, let's say I want it to be a full 24-hour countdown timer, then I'm going to take it and set it to all zeros. And there's my, if I start that, it'll do a full 24-hour countdown. Also, I have the option to have it automatically repeat. So auto repeat on or off. That's where I set that. So, some people really like a repeating timer, countdown timer, and that's where you can have that. I typically leave that off, but that's up to you. So those are your settings. So now, since it's all on zeros, if I set that, if I start it, then you can see it's going to count down a full 24 hours and then beep when it's done. And that's it. Next is the alarm mode. So we have the hourly chime, the signal is on or off. And I can adjust that right here with this adjust button to select that to be on or off. It'll beep at the top of the hour or not if I have it turned off. Then I've got my 5 alarms. So I can set any one of those to be on or off. I can adjust any of those alarms to be whatever time I want. And the 5th alarm is a snooze alarm, so that will repeat every 5 minutes up to half an hour if I have the snooze alarm activated. And those are all the modes, except for when I'm back in the regular timekeeping mode and I press this compass button right here, and it's highlighted in orange, so I know that's a little bit different, a little special. I push that, and it's going to give me a reading. So right now, the watch is not perfectly level. You want to have the face of the watch level to the ground for your best reading. But I've tilted it up a little bit. And it only gives you a reading for about 10 seconds. So I can press it again and it'll tell me again what my reading is. And it's a little bit off just because, the watch is not in an ideal position, but it's pretty close. And then again, it's going to show me the heading. It's going to have a pointer up there that's going to point north. And it's going to give me the temperature reading right there. That's my thermometer. And it's also telling me that I'm pointed, let's do that again, north-northwest or north, and it kind of moves around as I move the watch. You see the pointer continues to want to point up at the same direction. Get that 10 seconds of showing, what that is. So I can do that. And, there's a way to calibrate this. It is a magnetic compass. So, there could be some interference from, if you have it next to things that are metal. If you leave it next to something that creates a magnetic field, then you may need to recalibrate the compass. And to recalibrate the compass, you want to be in this compass mode. Then you want to press and hold, press and hold that adjust button. And it says 2 turns cal, so calibration. So what it's going to do when I press this compass button here, this pointer is going to about every second, it's going to make another move around the face of the watch. And as it does that, I want to actually turn the watch so that this pointer is continually pointed north. So let me just demonstrate how that works. And ideally, I would have the watch, absolutely perfectly flat as far as horizontal, parallel to the ground. But I'm going to tilt it this way just to make it easier for the camera to see this negative display. All right, so I'm standing by. It wants me to turn it around twice. I'm going to press this compass button, and then I'm just going to keep on turning it so that pointer is always pointed to the north. And you see it's kind of a quick rotation here, and I keep that going. And again, this is not ideal. This is a demonstration. If I were doing this without the camera, I might be a little more careful about this. If you, it'll actually go around 4 times if you don't stop it. But once you've gone around twice, that should be enough to calibrate it. It's going to return there, and then I'm going to push the mode button, and the mode button is what stopped the calibration. And now, if I were to restart the compass, I may not get a perfect reading here, but pretty close. Again, it's still showing this direction is north. And if I were doing this outside and I had the watch off of my wrist and I didn't have any obstructions around or anything magnetic around or electronic around, this would work much better. But for the purpose of this particular video, just a quick and dirty presentation to show you, that's pretty close. It's basically showing me that that's north, and that is true where I'm sitting. And that's what I'm going to see. So it gives you a bearing up here. It says it's pointed north or northwest, whatever it was, and then right there it gives you the bearing in degrees, the heading, I guess. I don't know my compass terms all that well, and so that's what it will do. So use that as you will. If you know how to use a compass and you're going to use that for your navigating when you're out hiking or hunting or whatever you happen to be doing outdoors, this will give you just a little bit of a helper there to get your exact reading. Now, it is supposedly plus or minus 11 degrees on this readout here. So, if it's showing, let's see what it shows right now. So 333, 320, so about 330. So it means it could be as much as 341, or it could be as low as, 319. If it's plus or minus 11 degrees. So the compass, yeah, it's a little bit, I don't know. I think only having it on for 10 seconds is maybe not ideal, whereas some of these other watches I have, the compass will stay on longer than that. But if you want just a quick 10-second burst, and again, it's going to save battery power by not leaving the compass on for too much time, then that's how useful the compass is for you. There's the back of the watch. As you can see, like many Casio watches, it shows you the module right there, module 3157. And if you want to go to Casio's website, you can download the instructions and get all the nitty-gritty details about how to use this watch. They have the model right there, SGW-100, stainless steel back, water resistant, made in China, all those specifications there. 4 screws to hold the back on, so when it comes time to change the battery, just those 4 screws, and you can remove the back and you can get in there and change the battery. It does a 3-year battery on a CR2025 lithium battery. Those are not difficult to find, shouldn't be too difficult to maintain this watch, and about every 3 years you change the battery and you're good to go. Let's do an official weigh-in. Let's see how that comes up on my kitchen scale. Okay, 54 grams. Let's compare that to typical G-Shock square. Hey, same weight. So if you're used to something like this and you get one of these SGW-100 watches, it's going to feel very similar. The watch band itself feels a little more thin than your typical G-Shock watch band. So, maybe we'll see. We'll see how well that lasts or not. But I think as far as the affordability goes, if you've been thinking about a fancy watch, a little something fancier than normal without spending too much money, I think this is fairly affordable at less than $50. I think you won't have too much trouble finding it for about that price if you look around. The backlight on this watch is an electroluminescent backlight, and so that looks pretty good, nice and sharp. It only stays on for about a second or two. So, but that should be enough to see that. Nice big digits and nice clear display, and that's kind of nice as far as backlights go. Now, if you watched a lot of videos on my channel, you know that I really like these watches like this one here that can set themselves to the right time automatically and always be accurate down to the second. So this one doesn't have that function, but you know what? Casio says it's going to be accurate to within 20 seconds a month anyway. And if you're a real stickler for accuracy, here's all you have to do. I would do this once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. Okay, hold that adjust button until things start to blink. Push 1, 2, 3 times on the mode button. And then right here, as soon as your accurate time reference like this one reaches 0, right as it reaches 0, tap the compass button like that. And then it's perfectly synchronized. And so if you just do that every week or two, I think accuracy is not going to be a big problem for you. If you have some sort of accurate atomic time source or the internet or whatever you're using, it's easy to keep this one really close to the right time. And even though Casio says it's plus or minus 20 seconds a month, I find that those are very conservative estimates that they put out there. So I would expect it to be, less than 10 seconds a month as far as the accuracy goes. So it's going to be pretty good. And like I said, if you're a stickler for accuracy, that little procedure will just take you maybe a minute, depending on when your atomic time source reaches 0, and you're good to go. So there it is, one of the 4 versions of the SGW-100, a fun watch, maybe a starter watch for someone who's getting into collection and doesn't want to get super fancy and super expensive quite yet. Try this out. And with that, I'm going to leave you for now, and I promise you there'll be another episode soon of the Good Timekeeping Show.